Hello students, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a Google Sheet that will add and average some data. So remember, we do not need an app to use Google Sheets or any of the Google tools. We can simply go to Safari. As long as you are logged in to your Google account, you can come up here and type in sheets.new. Sheets.new will make a new Google Sheet. It looks like I accidentally added a space. Okay, I'll hit enter and it will make a new Google Sheet for me. Let's give this a good name right away. And I want to tell you we are using fake data. So I'm going to call this fake grade for class size. Okay, there's some really nice suggestions, but we don't need them now. What I want to tell you before we get started is this is a column. Up and down is a column, just like the columns that hold buildings together. And rows are left to right, just like the rows on your notebook. So the intersection of any of these rows and columns also has a name. So for example, if I want to type something here, it is going to be in column C, row 5. So this intersection is C5 because it is column C and row number 5. So now that we have that talked about, let's make a simple heading, a title for our columns, and I will call this class. And then for the heading for the next column, I will call it, I'll just say students. And it does make sense for us to make the heading bold. So I'll make this bold, and I'll also touch A1 and make that bold as well. Okay, so we're going to put in, again, fake data. So I will type here, I will type in for A, and then I will type in for B. Then I will type in for C. And then I will type in for D. All right. So the next thing that I can do is I'll put in some fake data. Let's pretend our class sizes are 10. And let's pretend that 4B is 15. Let's pretend that 4C is maybe 12. And let's pretend that 4D is 16. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is I want to tell you that Google Sheets and other spreadsheets have a secret language. So if you want, you can type in a number or you can type in a letter. But if you want to use the language of math, what you want to do is you need to send Google Sheets a signal that you want to use math. So I'm going to come down here and touch the equal sign. Here's the equal sign. And Google is very smart, so it already thinks that you might want to add up this column. Now, it's also smart and knows that you don't want to add B1, you just want to add the numbers. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. What it's asking, sorry that I can't zoom in, it's asking, do you want to have a sum, which is the addition of cells B2, the little colon, it means through, B2 through B5. So this is B5, the ending. And I made a mistake, so I'll recreate it. I'm going to touch the equal sign, and then yes, B2 through B5. So I will accept that. So I touched it to accept it. Now that's adding it up. Now let's ask ourselves, does that make sense? All of these are more than 10, and so yes, 53 makes sense. So I'm going to type in total here. And next, I'm going to type in average. And the cool thing is if I type in average, it will take a guess of what I want to do when I give the signal for the equal sign, for the formula. Again, I'm going to touch equal, and yes, it already takes a guess that I want to take an average. It's also very smart and knows that I don't want to average the total number of students. I only want to average B2 through B5. Before I hit enter, let's use our brain and ask ourselves, what do you think the average is going to be? What do you think the average between 10 and 15 is? And then add 12, and then add 16. I have an idea in my head. What do you think is the average of these four numbers? Now that I took a good guess without using the computer, I'm going to hit enter, and I'll ask myself, does that make sense? And the answer is, yes, it does. So that's enough for one day. We're going to practice this in class today, and another time I'll show you how to make some cool charts with the data that we collect.